This week, I'll show you how I designed and built an easier way to get water to the tanks in my basement. That's coming up. Hey everyone, Steve Poland here, stevepolandcichlids.com, and a few weeks ago I showed you the easy drain system that I built for my basement fish room. That has been really nice to have, and it's completely eliminated the need for me to have buckets during my water changes. But I needed a better option for filling the tanks, because running my Python hose down my basement steps was a real pain. It was a trip hazard, and we have the door to the basement child-proofed, which doesn't really work if the door is cracked open. Now, this would obviously all be much easier if I just had a utility sink in my basement, but I don't. And I have to be able to bring the water up to the right temperature before I add it to the tanks, so I can't just tap directly into the water pipes. Now, some people store large containers of water for this purpose, but I've always felt like that was kind of a waste of space. So essentially, I needed to continue to use the utility sink on the first floor. The good thing is that even though it's not directly above the fish room, it's not too far away. So I started to plan this out, and as usual, I had a few requirements. First, I wanted to retain the ability to quickly attach the Python to the faucet, because I still use that to do water changes on my upstairs tanks. Second, I wanted a hose system that stayed connected all the time. I didn't want to have to connect and disconnect it every time I needed water in the basement. And third, I wanted it to be easy to store. The system I went with was simple and inexpensive. First, I added a Y valve for the faucet. One side is connected to the Python snap connector, and the other side is connected to a garden hose. I can easily bring the water up to temperature, and then switch the flow over to the hose. I ran the hose through my wall, down into the basement crawl space, and into the fish room. I used a hose that was drinking water safe to avoid any potential leaching of chemicals into my aquariums. Once the hose hits the fish room, it connects to a hose reel that is intended for mounting to the side of your house. These reels typically come with a short length of hose connected to a barb fitting on the back with a clamp. I simply cut off the end of my hose and swapped it out. I had to take the hose reel apart to do this, but it wasn't too difficult. I then connected a second garden hose to the reel. It's long enough to reach all of my tanks, and when I'm done, I simply roll it up onto the reel. The end of the hose is connected to a simple PVC hook. It's somewhat similar to the hook I built for my drain system, but I'll run through the components. First is an elbow fitting with a shutoff valve. Then there's a snap connector so that I can swap out other attachments if I want. Then there's the key fitting, which is a garden hose to PVC adapter. Then I just use 3/4 inch PVC pipe and elbows. The whole thing terminates in a T-fitting so that I can avoid a huge rush of water disturbing the fish. It has been really nice to have this done, and to be able to drain and fill tanks without a hose running down the basement steps. As always, I'd love to hear what you think about this system down in the comments, and if this is your first time here, then I would love to have you subscribe, because each week I bring you a new video sharing my experiences in the aquarium hobby. I give updates on my tanks, review products, show you DIY projects, and share tips and tricks to help you take your aquarium to the next level. Hit subscribe today to follow along. Have a good one.